Good evening, dear instructors, mentors, and fellow cyber interns. My name is Andrew Mavros, and I am a cyber threat analyst for Team 1 Cyber SEALs. Tonight, I will present our team's understanding of the insider threat problem in the financial sector, with an emphasis on our team's case study, IT sabotage. I'll also talk about espionage and describe its types and trends. Lastly, I will sum up the conclusion of this video by attempting to describe the insider threat landscape and how it has changed over the last 5 years. Let's begin by defining the insider threat and how it pertains to IT sabotage. So let's discuss, what is the insider threat? In the IT landscape, sabotage is usually committed by a worker within the company. Insider threats come from within an organization, whether it's executives, employees, independent contractors, temporary staff members, or trusted third parties, and it also affects the nation's economy. Insider threats are dramatically increasing amongst organizations. So let's talk about types of fraud. The most common cause of staff fraud is greed, to fund a lifestyle they could not otherwise afford, to support a habit such as gambling, or to pay off debts. In many cases, they will continue to undertake fraud after the arrests have been successfully cleared, they being employees. There's also outside influences towards an employee, and that proper vetting processes need to be implemented based on employee background checks. And if this isn't carried out successfully, the risks of a potential insider threat increases. As stated in the reading, we need to emphasize on unauthorized access to information and computer systems, as well as disclosing personal or commercial data, such as denial of service attacks and post-employment. Damage to reputation or specific insider threat incidents being unnoticed is usually unreported due to a company's public perception. Personal issues are major reasons in regards to insider threats, such as greed, debt, or worry of job loss. We need to emphasize focus on access from terminated employees, as well as information security officers monitoring daily access to critical information from employees that have access to critical information. Computer and cyber specialists should focus on programs or ways to monitor the flow of information from employees to outside parties, and that compliances and policies should be implemented in regards to third-party access. Staff can also be motivated by financial gain. Turnover rates, low pay, and little chance of being caught are motivations to such acts. Employee appraisals will help to leverage the effects of that, such as boosting employee loyalty to the organization through better chances of employee promotion and/or employee recognition through the use of awards. Also, plans can be put in place that if jobs related to the employee's expertise isn't open, they can be placed in a slightly different position within an organization based on their previous job performances, which saves money and resources as well. Policy personnel need to focus on policies that pertain to how human resources monitor and/or deal with employees, and to note that no specific fraudster fits a profile. Now let's discuss illicit cyber activity involving fraud in the U.S. financial services sector. In regards to this reading, our team found substantial information on insider threats, such as that the average age of most insiders range from 38 to 39. Also that internal cases have higher and potential damages in contrast with external cases. It's important to note that most cases involving insider threats, such as fraud, espionage, and sabotage, are from employees in non-technical positions. Conducting monthly audits is beneficial to the financial institution, in which it helps to detect insiders before more damage costs occur. Other ways insiders are usually detected is through coworkers monitoring and reporting suspicious behaviors and by customer complaints against an employee. Personally identifiable information are considered sensitive information pertaining to clients, and in order to ensure protection of this information, controls should be put in place to monitor employees that have access to it to avoid the risk of sabotage. Employees in positions that can commit sabotage to a financial institution should be subjected to repeated financial background checks every 3 to 5 years. Insiders steal personally identifiable information via already accessible means. This means is that those in high managerial positions tend to cause more damage to the company in terms of cost than those in low managerial positions, since those in a high position are less scrutinized. In most cases, there are less incidents in regards to insiders collaborating with outsiders. Personally identifiable information is most sought after by insiders, because this information is easy to access since the information is usually in front of them. The average age for those that steal personally identifiable information is 32, and those that steal non-personally identifiable information were around that age of 40. Now let's talk about Cressy's theory on why fraud occurs, and it revolves around three main points: pressure, rationalization, and opportunity. For pressure, a situation arises that is outside the control of the workplace. For example, relationship issues or financial issues that may lead to stealing insider information and using it for personal reasons. For rationalization, defense mechanisms, whereas one tries to reason and compensate wrongdoings by thinking that their wrongdoings are norm or is justifiable, such as the mindset of "I am left without a choice." Opportunity, along with other factors like grievances and greed, gives employees a chance at gaining secrets and important information from the company. As said in the article by Caldwell, insider attacks have a massive impact on the way organizations secure the sensitive assets, and recent years show that there is a significant rise in insider-based attacks. Since most organizations are not prepared properly for those kinds of attacks due to lack of training, lack of policies, and undeveloped technological solutions. There are a lot of ways to prevent outsiders from entering a sensitive database, but there aren't a lot of ways to prevent corrupt insiders from going in, such as firewalls restricting outside access, or having firewalls and malware monitored. There also needs to be intelligence sharing among federal and public agencies in regards to past threats that need to be analyzed to try to prevent corruption. Also, there should be an intrusion detection system in place, which is a software application that monitors network or system activities and reports malicious activity. Many corporations are not doing enough to protect their sensitive information. This makes IT sabotage easy for insiders looking to do harm to the company. Here are some statistics showing how corporations are not doing enough. 52% of corporations do not carry out any formal security risk assessment. 67% of corporations do nothing to prevent confidential data leaving on USB sticks or any other external devices. And 78% of companies had computers with unencrypted hard disks stolen. With that in mind, I will now summarize the video assigned for us to watch. The major points of the FBI video is to give us a great introduction into how easy actors on the inside can potentially infiltrate systems as an insider threat, also how foreign governments can influence native citizens to conspire to commit espionage under the guise of friendship, such as bribery and or giving luxury needs in the forms of gifts. It also talks about how insider threats can occur and some preemptive measures in place to already detect it. In this case, it was the polygraph test given by the CIA. The insider threat landscape has changed in many ways over the last 5 years. In the past, big corporations used files as their database, files meaning actual paper, folders, and cabinets, to store any type of information. And in recent years, everything became digital. Everything now is done on computers, which means there are now new ways insider threats can happen. On behalf of Team 1, I hope to have sufficiently surmised the main ideas of this week's insider threat related readings. Thank you and have a nice day.